Greetings everyone, welcome to my sketchbook. Well, in the last video I used two pens, or well, two markers actually, and made a sun. Well, for fun, let's make the moon, I guess? Let's zoom in a little bit here. Before I do that though, again, I'm going to go with two markers though, and these are going to be cool or cooler colors rather than the warmer colors that I used in the last video. So, yeah, find a spot right about here, let's say. See if it'll kind of focus a little bit on that. The moon. Well, that was in the news lately. We got to watch a rocket ship. Oh, and here's the thing. I'm looking to draw a version of the moon that's kind of like a crescent, but I don't really want it to look like a banana. So maybe we'll go with like a closer to half or three-quarter. I don't know. Let's find out. This is going to be the rough sort of glowiness of this moon. And we know that it would be a circle, but we're not going to go with a complete circle. It's kind of like a storybook moon, let's say. Now, I don't know who uses a sleeping cap, or I'm not sure what they call that type of sleep cap. Night cap? I'm not really sure. We want this moon to be ready for bed. We can add some other sort of things to it. Let's go with like kind of like craters, but not really. Do you think that the moon could be made out of cheese? Do you think the moon could be made out of twinkling asteroid dust? Do you think it possibly could be one of those things where something collided with it? Let's say collided with Earth, maybe, and created craters, but like a piece of it flew out into space. I wasn't around for that. You can speculate, I suppose. Look at that bulbous nose. So that's roughly what I have going on for that. And could I leave it like that? Well, I could. But I'm going to bring out the other marker. And with this marker, we're going to add a bit more detail, and then I can go back in with this after, and then add some more of that fun gray. It's like a light blue almost. How's that? Is that kind of blurry? Just trying to get it to focus just a little bit. Okay. Now in yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about the sun when I was a kid, that I would draw as if it was supposed to be like a coloring book. It would have black outlines, and how it was kind of unnecessary to do that. It's an interesting idea, though. I wonder about the moon and why people would like to go to it. If you're doing something that seems kind of ridiculous, our French friends would say something like, Être dans la Lune. You could say that you're kind of like on the moon. It's a strange and wonderful thing, the moon. It seems dreamy. The light that it reflects, it can light up our skies just a little bit. I don't want these craters to seem too much like blemishes, though. Of course, in yesterday's video, I talked a little bit about the sun wearing sunglasses, and that seemed funny to me as well as a kid. And I do wonder if that was because of advertisement. So recently, of course, NASA, back in April, had a rocket. And there were some astronauts on there. And they set up a flyby of the moon. How cool is that? Oh, the moon. 250,000 miles away. You got to go pretty fast to get there. But how neat. Personally, I have no interest in that sort of thing. The moon, I mean, and going there. There's a lot of risk in it for that kind of adventure. And how much, piloting of that thing do you actually do? You're sitting on top of a giant missile. That Orion rocket. That fantastical machine. Now, I don't know if I want to have a sleep cap on there. I have to imagine that this part that's kind of in darkness could be the other side of the face and the other part of the nose, like the nostril here and the mouth. It seems interesting. Hopefully you're drawing along with me or drawing your own version of it. Now I'm just adding a little bit of texture stuff before I get out the other marker, and then we'll kind of finish this up. Kind of. Oh, ha ha. Here's the other marker. Now here, we're letting that glow kind of happen a little bit more. Just scooting around a little bit. What if we put in a few Z's? And we'll pretend that we got to hit that snooze button. I'm not a fan of the snooze button. I like to wake up when the alarm goes off. I don't like having to wake up early knowing that I have an alarm to go off several more times. Not my thing. The final phase of this. Let's go back to this. What we'll do is we'll just kind of outline a little bit of that. Starting off mainly on one side, I think. How's that? How about a little bit there? Now we're just taking a little scoot around once again. And this will be kind of like, well, we'll say it's like the final minute. Any little things that we want to do. So, of course, thank you very much for subscribing. Thanks for hanging out. Thanks for making a comment or two and being respectful of others. That's also very good. Yeah, let me know what things you like to draw. That's also very fun. All right, folks. That is it for now, I think. The sun and the moon. Ciao for now.